Hi Libra. Before we get started, I want you to get yourself comfortable. Maybe you want to wear something cozy. Maybe have a hot beverage. Because we have a talk about a lot of things. Releasing heavy energy, but also some good shit. Before, though, I continue to shuffle. All information to work with me one-on-one is below. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. My information for my schedule, my payment options, my website, meaning the schedule, is all below, as well as other places that I post. Patreon link will be the first link below. That will be for the extended version of this particular reading, but I'm also putting all of these general readings there because there will be more things that will come out, and if you want things right to your inbox instead of going on YouTube, either way is fine, but that's just an option for you to have. And then if you want to subscribe as well, you have that option. The first card out is the Tower. There's a couple things about this, and one that I will say is that, and I will hold it up for you in just a moment, is that, and then we have the Queen of Swords at the bottom, the Tower, Nine of Swords. I know this can look scary. You're laughing. I know I'm laughing. Here's the thing. When a total shift is happening, it's going to end with your brain. Why? The brain needs the most repetition. So you can take that as chronically as you would like to, but of course, take this for what you will. This is intuition. This is the subconscious. This is tarot. This is astrology. This is all the things that I've learned that I am now helping you be revealed to. So if releasing means, so this can be interpreted quite a few ways, but if releasing this month means crying because your mind has been through so much, that's okay. Matter of fact, Libra, if that is something you need to do your entire life, like from the past, from whatever's happening in the present, from the shit that you feel that hasn't happened yet, it's okay that this is the way that you release. Number two, it's because it gets you out of your mind and into your body. Feeling sad doesn't mean that you are always sad. It means that this moment, this grievance is sad, it's frustrating. And this Tower moment is saying that everything's changing. Your mind is changing. And the last thing to truly shift is your mind. This is a mental breakthrough. For some of you, though, this can be a breakdown. And if you're not used to having those, when you're changing, the nerves will shift. And I can't say I haven't had them. And if you've made it thus far and you haven't, amazing. You're doing amazing. You're all doing amazing, but you're doing amazing. Get the support that you need, because this for you, or this is just a breakdown that you need to cry, let out, is because there's something intuitively that you know is coming, and in order for that to make its way to you, you need to let this go. You need to shift. Here I am telling you all the things you need to do. Here you are telling you. This comes after this. I've been singing nonstop. Thunder only. I will save you that for now. But Stevie Nicks' Dreams. Did she know that lightning is the intuition and that the thunder is this roaring time, dramatic moment when shit changes? And does that mean, oh my God, you're gonna feel fucking great? No, it probably means you're gonna be revealed to something, or many things, as you know, because you operate on a multitude of levels. Gemini full moon weekend. Let's just call it a weekend. It's an event. And the best part about this is it's causing you to take your power back, because you've realized, what this helps you realize is all the places in which we're even underneath, right? Where all of the mental loopholes began. We're going to pull from the bottom. Where all the mental loopholes began. This is also a 5-week. We're going to talk more about this too, but I'm going to take these cards out. This is for validation. These situations sometimes that happen that you feel like you're surprised to find yourself in are because you're unaware of the fact that when you, even in your mind, push things away or don't deal with things the way that they need to be dealt with, because one, you probably didn't know, right? And two, like, that's a way of coping, is to just like, it's not disassociating like more like Aquarius, but this can be that too, because all the air signs are being activated. Well, not all, but the air signs are being more activated. But it's more that you have this other life, that there is this internal and external life that if you ignore it, it comes up in a way that is, it's like conjured in a way that is distorted, right? And so it can come up through weird drama, maybe in environments that you've constantly had to do this with, and now you realize it's all because there's a part of you that needs to actually go through the friction and the discomfort of maybe quite a few things over the years, but there's a few things specifically coming up right now, and it has to do with how you've handled yourself. It's how you go from highs and lows of being so sure and not, and where that comes from, and you're now detangling a lot more because maybe you didn't want to see how much of a pushover you were. Maybe you didn't want to see that this is how you were raised, that maybe you didn't want to fight back because you didn't know how to. That you used your mind so much that now your actions and your words aren't adding up. And you're having to realign now. And first, and whether it's first or you're finally feeling good in any other area, because it seems like the mind is this last area to find out, okay, everything else is great, but I still, and everything else may not be great, but if you're feeling better physically, creatively, emotionally, even though emotion, all of it goes together, your mind is having a harder time getting on board. This can especially be for Libra risings in the area of work. The area of relationship, but we'll talk about work because it came up. Because Aries would be in your 7th house or somewhere along those lines, and Chiron's been in Aries and it's been in retrograde for a while. We have a lot of doubles happening, and I'll bring them out. Aries. This is also Mars retrograde. We're going to talk about all of it. It can be difficult to have all this inner child, the wounded healer, the wounded things come up through your relationship. Maybe it's a relationship with an Aries that this is also coming up to heal with. But for a lot of you, this is about your one-on-one relationships. And for Libra, that's for Libra risings, but Libra sun and moon, if you want to take that as well. There's going to be a fortuitous turn the moment that you discover and this is revealed to you in a way where you can actually put it into action, because you do feel worthy. Because you know deep down that this is coming up now too, so that you can confront it in a way that is healthy for you, because you're committed to yourself and to your life. Because Libra, whether you have or you're starting to now truly devote your time and energy to your care. We have another 2. This is the 2s. You realize that you may need to take a few extra steps every day to help your mind. You may need to give yourself attention that you didn't receive. This is an independent spread, and if you're a Libra who's hyper dependent, there's a trauma for that. Like, for real, like, there's like trauma response to everything. But here's the thing, right? Here's the beauty that the Wheel of Fortune tells us, is that there's a lot of, the Wheel of Fortune, the Emperor, the Queen of Pentacles, raw fucking power. I'm not a power hungry person. Raw fucking talent, raw fucking skill. That's what I mean by power. But if it's power for you, okay. Raw talent, raw power, raw fucking self-awareness. This is the final thing that's clearing you from being independent even of that part of you. Knowing you can't truly pluck that out of you, but you found a way to allow yourself to see it, commit to this, and realize that if your heart, like Aries, if for so long you ignored shit because your heart needed to be elsewhere, given to others, or given to this, or given to that, or manipulated, used against you, eventually you realize you've been doing it to yourself. That's the hardest fucking thing to hear. But then you realize, well, I can only be me. I'm the one making these decisions. How do I unravel that? How do I unfuck myself, basically? And the way to do that, you've been doing. You have been unraveling. You have been seeing. You have been consciously understanding that whatever you go through and whatever release you may have, if you have to cry 5,000 times, if you have to move your mind, not to suit your needs, but to validate. You would never invalidate someone else's experience. I can't say never. You wouldn't, would you? Let's just ask. Would you? Would you? Most likely not. And even if you wanted to, even if you didn't agree, you're not going to do, you more than likely won't say that to someone. But what you can say and come from is your experience. Where you can say and come from is what you know. And what your instincts tell you. Because you've had certain instincts come up that don't align with who you are now, but you didn't realize how much they played against where you're going. It's very normal for a lot of us. There is spiritual saying, and even people who don't claim to be spiritual but actually work on the body, and I've heard this many times in many ways. I've done that a couple times. Maybe it was for Aries too. To say that your purpose is healing. This raw discovery of your worth and innate sense of self, the I am. Because of what you can help. Of course, you're going to help others. What you can do to help. But it's also just like a deep devotion and commitment. 5 and 2 are each other's inverse too, just so you know. You're realizing whatever you chose not to see nor feel too much towards, you now have to heal through actually opening up and speaking. Anytime you speak directly from your heart, directly from your knowing, committing to not giving up on the part of you and all the parts of you that have gotten this far. This has been the card of the motherfucking month. I don't know about in the signs, but in my life. Because, first of all, the full moon and the energy that I was getting anyway, we're going to talk about that and we'll show you how all this fits in. This is so funny. That was the card on the bottom when we started, and I just was like, maybe I should just start there. Every time you notice something like that, you're going to start to do it. You're going to just start to shift and be like, you know what? No, I've done that before. Boom, I'm doing it. It's just so quick. Because when you're clear and you understand and can give the proper attention to those parts of you, which is parts work, if you also never looked into it, please do. That is whole, right? You're whole. But there are parts of you that have been through shit. There are parts of you that have compartmentalized and, you know, had so much expected of you. And so you couldn't, because if you change or if you saw it any other way, then you'd have to break down. And now you're doing what's right for you. The right thing doesn't always feel good, and it's not always easy. So now I need you to now go back again. Let's cry together. And realize how many times you did the right thing out of doing the easy thing. And everything that feels easy, it's almost like too good to be true. Now you need to go with that. Now you need to go with what feels a little easier. The shit that you're good at, that raw power and talent and discernment. It's coming, it's through you, towards you, healing you. It's all around you. It's access to this deep power within yourself. Because you understand now that that is the greater healing for yourself. That's the evolution of this healing. And it's not like all of it's right going to change. It's the continuous, which I was just saying before, is that the shift that's happened with Pluto, regardless of that, the energy has shifted. So there's been a lot of heavy energy that comes up because we're already moving forward. The energy is already here. So it's not even just us moving forward. We could be standing and just walking, but the energy's been brought in. And now, if you can picture yourself moving through this energy, picture one color and then another color that's been with you, right? And now you're moving through it, and now it's like dissolving and making another color. I hope that makes sense to you, but basically all the energy that you came in with and that has been present is being purified. So there could be grief here, and that's what you could be experiencing with the Tower moment is, holy shit, everything's changed and I feel it. How do I now communicate with this energy? I think you don't realize that you're doing that sometimes, that you're in a space where you don't know what to do, or you're only doing certain tasks all day instead of doing the other thing. And you have to learn to realize that there's some things you need to do for self-care, but then everything else is intuition. If you're able to put that into your life at all, is not to hold yourself to this one thing, but to connect yourself to what's right today, to what you're meant to meet today, what is actually guiding you, because you're moving on emotionally in a way that's huge, right? That's the biggest thing for you, is like, when have you abandoned yourself for connection, right? When you're now in an evolutionized place where you realize that every decision you make, if you are with someone, is for both of you, but right now it's for you. Right now is your time for you. For you. Because it's like, I know that, and you know that not everyone likes what they see when they see you. They don't always want to agree, disagree, but there is something around wanting to make a judgment or wanting to make a decision about someone or about something so that you feel safer. You're safe enough in your body now, or teaching yourself, hopefully, you're rejuvenating this nervous system as much as you can to understand in your mind, the mind, Emperor ruled by Aries, rules the head. It's also Mars. So Mars being in retrograde in Leo, This can also be you taking a very self-worth on, and this is also about feeling guilty. It doesn't look like it here, but this is what happens, and that smirk is fine. You may cut your losses, but this is what happens internally if it's not resolved. You can fight yourself about things that, you know, who the fuck asked? Who asked you? Who asked you? And that's the thing, is like, you know that everyone wants to be seen and heard and validated and appreciated, and they want to feel something, maybe get something from someone. You know that people can be transactional, but you also know that more now than ever is not how the system is operated always. It's actually understanding that the key to feeling more within yourself, the more controlled, the more empowered, is by approaching this with the sword. Is that when you have those moments where shit comes up in your mind in a way that is not healthy, or in your life, you have the option to not just walk away, but to engage differently in that moment, because you will notice it. That will also allow you to heal your mind in a lot of ways, because your mind needs space. The beginning of the month, even now, until the shift of the full moon and Mercury goes direct, you are and maybe experiencing, I have my lamp focusing on me and it changes colors, what you may not see yet. You're now trusting that your brain is readjusting to the new way of you, the new version of you. The newer versions, you're still adjusting and being open to that. And the feeling and the big change externally to internally will then even out with you and provide this supercharged energy. The more that you pay attention, the more that you allow yourself the commitment to understand that it's time to move on emotionally from what you couldn't for so long, and that kept coming up back around, perhaps in your body, and it's in your brain. Like we say, it's in the body, but the brain is a part of the body. And that's what's funny, is like, if your body feels great and you do feel connected and grounded and worthy, self-confident, self-aware, you're like, I'm worthy. Why does this feel this way? Why does that well, it's because in the moment you need to be self-assured for you, for yourself. And in the brain, which is also a muscle that things get stored in, you are now releasing and may need to have things that help your brain function better, sleep more, meditate more. This was underneath. Sleep more, meditate more, take care of yourself more. You are digesting a lot, especially mentally. And the more that you get the rest you need, the more wherever you need to focus that energy you can. Libra risings, this is also your subconscious. So the more that you rest, the more that you'll allow the subconscious to come through, where you can then become aware of what you need to be aware of. But this is also about being easy on your body and your mind, maybe allowing yourself space from too much stimulation, giving yourself proper rest if you're tired, especially if you're tired. You know, giving yourself some space from obligations or commitments, giving yourself the space to redecide, because like any normal person would, you too can give yourself room to change your mind, right? And this is what this is all about, is finally realizing every time you come back to this place of like, oh, but I need space to clear and think, and all of a sudden I feel this strange resentment or something building. It's because you're giving a lot of energy away. And if you called it back, you would probably notice that what is needed and necessary is for you to ground, for you to ask yourself if this fight is worth it, even within yourself. You do that with others, perhaps. Why not within yourself? Why not be so aware that you approach yourself like you would approach any other relationship? And if you're approaching any other relationship, granted, some people, you may need to walk away from some people. That's what that tower moment can be too, is moving on. We're going to wrap this up though. Is you committing to allowing yourself all the validation, all the love, all the care, soul care, by the way, that you need for your mind, so that your intuition moves properly, so your connections, so your real connections continue to develop. Because this real connection that you're, again, this, I'm so excited, is this just raw power and the power of awareness. If you're not writing, please write. Please do art. Please create, because that changes the neural pathways. For a lot of you, this could be about the fact that as you're creating a new life, you're creating different neural pathways, and creating literally can help. It can help shift, meditating. Don't let what's in your mind stay there anymore. That's how it gets stuck within you. It needs to come out of you. It needs to be expressed. It needs to be said. It needs to be lived. It needs to be so many things. And when you don't give yourself the proper rest, those ideas can't generate, and you get stuck with them. You get almost like you come to a standstill. I was going to say something else, but let's not put that on you. But paralyzed word, but the standstill. And that's where you need to engage with the stillness more. I know it could be easier to try to run away. You need to be with the stillness more and pay attention, because you'll pay for it if you don't. Pay attention. Pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your mind. And notice how much you need to give yourself that attention, and how giving that attention is beneficial for how you operate in every other area of your life. And if people are not privy to this, it's time to get people privy to this. Also, like, 3 Scorpios are showing up. No, just kidding. That's a lot of opportunities. If you're in a romantic situation, this is really personal. Love is also going to grow from this. Trusting love is going to grow from this. If you're not with someone at this time, I know this is very simple, but this is a very personal, spiritual, experiential growth for you. This is for Libra rising, Sagittarius is in your 3rd house of communicating. I didn't even think about that before I started this, but we'll get more into that in the second part. This reading was long, I know, but I hope this was helpful for you. Know that you know, and you have the clarity, and that you've always known, dating back to your ancestors. You've known. You've been working up towards this. It feels like something that you're experiencing again. It's because it's that final lap. It's that final moment of this particular thing that has kept you from being so sure about who you are, regardless of what you're doing. right? It's about who you are. It's about not just knowing it, but knowing it, sensing it. And letting things come to you. Because whatever you commit to is healing you. And you're meant to help heal. Transformation is for sure. Okay, Libra. Thanks for being here. Just know that you are supported, guided, protected, loved, cared for on this journey in your life, and trust your process. Don't fight it. The more you fight it, the harder it is. So let yourself feel it. Release whatever emotion, release whatever you need to, and create from that space of knowing. But before anything that you do, knowing that you are whole and that no one can take your power from you anymore. If you know that. So excited. Look how calm I am now. I cried right before this. Okay. All information to work with me is below, and the extended, and you can go on TikTok and Instagram as well, and we'll see you next time. Happy holidays.